All right, welcome back, Truth Seeker. Once again, going to give a lesson on how rigged sports is, how it's synced up with news, and remind you how earlier this year we predicted there'd be major blackouts on Valentine's Day. Houston ended up getting the worst of it. And I'm going to show you how that Houston blackout. Remember when the Houston blackout happened? The big athletes in Houston, J.J. Watt, like Watson Energy, wanted out of town, and Deshaun Watson wanted out of town. But I'm going to show you how that blackout was perfectly synced with solar energy, like the sun, like how J.J. Watt went to Arizona, the land of the sun, but how this solar home run is all synced up, and it's an undeniable perfect ritual. And I'll remind you about the article Vice News wrote about me for the 113th World Series, because we said why Houston would beat the Dodgers as soon as Harvey flooded Houston. And again, weather, sports, news, how it all comes together in perfect repetitive ritual. We're also going to read from page 63 in Number Games 9/11 to Coronavirus, my latest book. We'll even read a little bit from chapter 18 of my first book. I'm just going to show you how the same stuff just keeps happening over and over from sports to news by the same repetitive patterns. Of course, we're also going to talk about Henry Ruggs III car crash and where it fits in, drafted in round 1, pick 12, 112 as the World Series ends on the day of his crash, 11/2 in Houston, 112 land. But again, let's just put it all together here, and let's start with this piece, just something that's so easy to grasp. Last night, when Jorge Soler was named the World Series MVP, realized that he came over from Kansas City earlier this year. And of course, in football, Kansas City's got the Chiefs, the Atlanta Braves. You know, the Redskins just changed their name. The Indians are changing their name. But all these native connected teams. Remember a few years ago, Monday Night Football was Saints and Redskins, and the Saints wasted the Redskins, and Drew Brees became the all-time leader in passing yardage. And on that same day, the Indians and the Braves were eliminated from the playoffs on Columbus Day, who's known for slaughtering the natives. But anyway, look at this. From the day that Soler was traded from Kansas City to the Braves, July 30th, to the day they won the World Series, November 2nd, and he was named the MVP, was 95 days. 95 days. By the way, pause real quick. Shout out to Darrell in Houston. He got me up early this morning saying, man, please decode the Henry Ruggs III car crash. Darrell's the biggest Raiders fan on the planet, living in Houston. But anyway, I'm going to show how it's all connected. The World Series, his crash, and again, just another big old ritual, all by the numbers. But again, Soler gets traded from Kansas City to Atlanta 95 days before winning the World Series. Like we talked about, Braves is 95. We just talked about what happened on Halloween with the 9-5 score. You know, that game was exactly 9,500 days after the Braves won the World Series in 95, which was October 28, 95. Well, we're going to bring this all together. And notice how they beat the Astros this year. The Astros in the regular season were 95-67. Remember, Gematria's forwards and backwards. In reverse, Braves is 95. Forwards at 67. They faced the Astros in the World Series after the Astros go 95-67. And when you use numerology, Braves is 22. So is Aaron. Like Hank Aaron died on the 22nd of January. The Braves were last in the World Series 22 years ago. Brian Snitker picked up his 22nd win as a manager last night, winning the World Series. But again, Gematria, alphabetic order, forwards and backwards numerology. I say you know these 4 ciphers. You'll see through the rituals every day because they bring the numbers together all the time. And look at this. It was all synced up with Hank Aaron, right? They win the World Series in Houston on 1-1-2. Houston 1-1-2, just like Harden's 1-1-2. Just like Chris Paul went to the Rockets 112 days. I think it was from Harden's birthday. Just so many 1-1-2 rituals in Houston. Yesterday was the latest. But notice, Hank Aaron, his upcoming birthday, February 5th, from the deciding game to his upcoming birthday, 95 days. If you measure from the day he died, January 22nd, to the day that they just won the World Series, hold on. Oh, excuse me, it was the start of the World Series. From the day that Hank Aaron died January 22nd, to the day that the World Series began, October 26th, that was a span of 9 months and 5 days. It'd be 9 months and 4 days later, but if you count the span of days, it's 9 months and 5 days from his death to the start of the World Series. And keep in mind, from his death to the start of the World Series was 277 days, which is the 59th prime. Slave, Negro, Blues, all equal 59. Black History Month ends on the 59th day. Motown came out in 59. 59, the reflection of 95. Million Man March in 95. But 59-95, the World Series ends on the anniversary of his release, November 2nd, 1974. He was released by the Braves on that day in history, the day leaving 59 days left in the year. But notice, they win it 95 days from his birthday. That also means he was released in history on the day leaving 59 days left in the year, 95 days from his birthday, cut by the Braves, right? Braves 95. Same rituals all throughout history. Keep in mind, Atlanta, Georgia equals 59 as well, And I just saw in the chat as I was starting this, I didn't have this detail, I wasn't ready for the presentation, but if anybody wants to verify this, somebody in the chat said the car crash with Ruggs was at 127 miles per hour. Last night, Soler hit his 127th career home run. That's the 31st prime. Houston's 31, the small way. Again, Harden, Watt, and Springer all left Houston at age 31. And then Watt just made his return to Houston, playing for the Cardinals exactly 31 weeks after his birthday. But for these other parallels between Hank Aaron and Jorge Soler, Soler's birthday is February 25th, the 56th day of the year. Again, his name, Jorge Soler, is 56. So is Henry Aaron. And from Henry Aaron's death to the start of the playoff series between Milwaukee and Atlanta, he used to play for the Milwaukee Braves. That was 263 days later, the 56th prime. If you've read my book, you know about how 56 and 70 come together. They're numbers of the Jesuits. This World Series had a lot to do with 56. The final score is 7-0. Astros is 70. And again, these are numbers of the Jesuits. The biggest number with the Jesuits, well, arguably the biggest number is 201, and last night was the Braves' 201st playoff game. But again, here's Soler, born in Havana, Cuba, February 25th, 92. And he had 3 homers in the World Series. He put him up 3-0 yesterday, got him sparked. When you write out 3 as a word, it's 56, like his name, like being born on the 56th day of the year, and he gets the World Series MVP. And watch how this really all comes together. If you're impressed so far, we haven't even done nothing yet. Just wait until we bring this all together. We're just getting warmed up here. There's a lot of interesting things that people shared in the comments. And just real quick, notice last night, Milwaukee won last night, getting to 4-4. Hank Aaron, number 44, dead on a 44-date numerology. Dusty Baker, now the manager of the Astros, who was on deck when Hank Aaron hit the record home run, picked up his 44th postseason loss last night, losing to his old Braves that he played for in a Hank Aaron season. But the Bucks win with 117, the year of the 117th World Series. And again, remind me how we put out 4 teams at the start of the year to win the World Series. The 4 teams with the Gematria 117 connection. Truist Park equals 117, the new name for the Braves Park, who just won the 117th World Series. Dodgers 117, who met the Braves in the NLCS. Those were your only 2 teams in the NL with a 117 connection. And then the 2 in the AL were Toronto equals 117, Illinois equals 117. We didn't think it was going to be the Cubs this year, but we thought the White Sox had a chance because they were in the Field of Dreams game, and Field of Dreams is 117. But the one thing that I missed with the Astros is they don't have a Gematria 117 connection, but their owner's birthday, Jim Crane's born January 17th, 117, so the Astros end up being there. If I had seen that, that I probably would have had 5 teams to put a future on. But it doesn't matter, Braves paid 20-1 at the start of the year. Like I said, you made an even bet on all 4 teams. Let's just say you bet $100 on all 4. You would have bet $400. You would have won $2,000 on the Braves. You would have lost $300 on the other bets, which means you would have gone from, you had $400, right? You won $2,000 and you lost $300. So you're now up to $2,100 when you started with $400, you see? So that's a big net gain. That's over 5 times your money. And that's why I don't listen to these trolls who say I'm a scammer. All the idiots in the comment writing, he had Toronto and Dodgers. Yeah, I did. And I also had Braves and White Sox. And that's why they're the liars and frauds. always talking shit and lying out of their ass. We put out winning knowledge season after season, and we've done it again. But notice also last night, the Rockets had 70 points at halftime as the Astros had already lost 7-0, and they ended up with 117 points. And remember, 2 years ago, we had the Nationals to beat the Astros in Game 7 before the playoffs even began, and that was a dead-on call. And the night of Game 7, go back and look at the box score, Rockets and Wizards played that night. The Rockets beat the Wizards, Houston, D.C., while D.C. beat Houston in baseball. And we had Houston to win that night, the year of the 115th World Series where the Nationals won. We had Houston in the NBA to win. We had the Nationals to win the World Series and Houston to win an NBA because we saw D'Antoni, the coach of Houston, would pick up his 600. I believe it. Here, let me make sure it's 631. Whatever number win he picked up was the 115th prime, and that was the 115th World Series. I think he got his 631st win. Yeah, D'Antoni, if you go back and look, D'Antoni got his 631st career win the night that the Nationals won the 115th World Series. And again, that's just perfect proof of how the leagues are scripted. And we've been doing this for 8 straight years, just showing undeniable proof of how they rig all the sports, sync it up. I mean, everybody should see it last year when Tom Brady goes to Tampa and they win the Stanley Cup, go to the World Series, and win the Super Bowl in their own building. I mean, what a joke. TB to TB. But notice, Houston connected to the World Series last night playing in the NBA, loses with 117 like the 117th World Series. Bucks, and by the way, again, Bucks won the World Series, or not the World Series. Bucks won the NBA Finals July 20th, the 201st day of the year, the same day Brady was at the White House with the Bucks. And then last night, the Braves win the World Series in their 201st postseason game all time. The Jesuit Order 201. You know, in your face. And again, Jeremy White caught that they listed that was Freddie Freeman's 6,660th playoff plate appearance last night. And when you write out number of the beast as words, it equals 95 like Braves. So that makes sense. Again, that's covered in my first book, the relationship. Because 95 weeks in a day is 666 days. There's this relationship with 95 and 666. But yeah, Dan Barron did a good video last night on the World Series in 95. When I got up this morning, supposedly my video was at 9.5K views. I was like, is that true? Is that even fucking true, man? Is YouTube playing games? But okay, again, just the game before this was 9-5, right? 9-5 before we get the Jorge Soler ritual, winning the World Series and the MVP 95 days after joining the Braves, coming from Kansas City. And the game before, again, 9-5 on Halloween, 95, where Jesuit-educated Matt Ryan for the Falcons came into that day on 95 losses. Braves 95, and again, that game was 9,500 days after the Braves won the 95 World Series. And Martin Luther King Jr. from Atlanta was assassinated on the 95th day of 1968 on 4/4, like Hank Aaron wore number 44. And again, Martin Luther, who Martin Luther King Jr. assumed the name after, the leader of the Protestant Reformation, he pinned the 95 Theses to the church, the Castle Church, the Catholic Church, October 31st, 1517, 504 years to the day of this ritual in the baseball game. You know, and we're going to read from page 63. I'm going to show you just how everything I wrote on page 63 brings what I'm about to completely present together, just from one page in my book. It'll blow your mind once we get to it. But we're still building up to it. We're still building the case here. So, you know, you just had this massive 95 ritual. Last year, I was telling you about the opening day 95 ritual for the coronavirus season, and Garrett Cole with the Yankees getting his 95th career win after being signed by the Yankees on the 95th day of his age when Fauci, the Jesuit, threw out the first pitch, and Fauci's 95 plus more. But again, just these rituals, day after day. Now, Henry Ruggs III, who got drafted in the NFL last year out of Powerhouse, Alabama. Remember, Alabama equals 56. Big Jesuit number. Nick Saban stayed on those 263 wins, the 56 prime, as he lost to what's-his-face on his 56th birthday this year in the big upset. But Henry Ruggs III was taken round 1, pick 12, right? 112, 112. Houston's 112. The World Series is decided on 11-2. The 112 connection. The Jesuits operate in 112 countries. But look at this. Henry Ruggs III, from his birthday to the day of the wreck, November 2nd, was his 283rd day of his age, okay? 283. And the man who was the World Series MVP that day, his full name is Jorge Carlos Soler Castillo, which is 283, right? And 283 is the 61st prime number. Think about baseball, home runs. Roger Maris hit 61 home runs in 1961. 61's the 18th prime. Baseball's 18. Sun is 18. IHS is 18, what's in the Jesuit logo over the sun. But Henry Ruggs, his name is 61 in the most pure cipher as well, like Las Vegas Raiders, right? Down in Las Vegas where all the sports gambling's going on. The rigged rituals, signals to the elite for who to bet on. Mattress Mac lost another $39 million. Just go the opposite way of Mattress Mac every time they do one of these stories. It's a big joke. But notice Henry Ruggs when you run it in reverse. His name is 47. Yesterday was 47 years to the day of Hank Aaron being cut by the Braves. 47's the 15th prime. Atlanta equals 15. They gave the Astros their 15th all-time loss in the World Series. Number 5 on the Braves put him up 7-0 on the 15th pitch when he jacked the home run off the reliever on the 15th pitch. 15's the 5th triangular. Only the 5th game of the World Series started at 15 minutes after the hour. The rest all started at 9 minutes after the hour. On the West Coast, they all started at 5:09. Kind of like 59, like how the World Series started 277 days after Hank Aaron's birthday, the 59th prime. World Series ends on the day, leaving 59 days left in the year. 59.95, like we talked about. But Henry Ruggs, 61.47. So he's got baseball-connected numbers, the right number for the ritual with Hank Aaron being cut 47 years ago. Keep in mind, Nevada's 47 as well. Las Vegas Raiders is 61. In reverse, it's 101. And what year did they become the Las Vegas Raiders? The year of the 101st NFL season. Remember, there was a big 101 ritual with the Raiders. I believe it was that they upset the Saints last year in their debut home game. I got to go back and check what it was, but it was a huge 101 ritual. Huge. The game might have even been on October 1st. I got to go back and see what it was, but I remember it was all about 101, that upset. Plus Louisiana's 101. I'm pretty sure they were playing the Saints in that game. If you do the third part on his name becomes 74. Like Hank is 74, like Raiders is 74, like how the Braves advanced to the World Series on a 74 date numerology. And last night, the Braves were 7-4 on the road in the postseason against the Astros coming into that game before they finished them off. But check this out. Jorge Carlos Soler Castillo, the man last night. Oh, by the way, Ruggs is 22 years old. Braves 22, Aaron 22. Yeah, again, Brian Snicker picks up the 22nd win. So 22-year-old, definitely part of the reason. They said it happened at 3:40 the day of the game, local. Nevada's 34, Black is 34, Murder's 34. It was a date with 34 numerology. Remember the Monday Night Football game we did earlier this year? Where I was documenting all game how they were doing 1,034 rituals with the Ravens playing in Vegas. And then the game was won on Carr's 34th completion to a wide-open receiver over the Ravens, who won both their Super Bowls with 34 points. Ravens is also 34. And it was the anniversary of the Tupac death in Vegas, who spent part of his life in Baltimore, died in Vegas. Rapper 34. You know what I mean? That's also 1540 military time. And again, 154 is a big baseball number. Used to be a 154-game season. Double day. There's not supposed to be a space there. That's supposed to be one word. Double day 154. That's the Mason that American football is credited to. Ritual sacrifice is also 154 and 251. And we're going to talk about 251 here right now. 251. So from the day that Houston blacked out on Valentine's Day, a very Catholic day, again, the Jesuits served the Catholic Church and are behind all these rituals. All roads lead to Rome. From Valentine's Day to the Astros making it to the World Series on the 22nd before they faced the Braves, that was 251 days, which is the 54th prime number. Okay, 251 the 54th prime, baseball 54, sun 54, Soler, Jesuit order 54, and again, the Jesuit logo with the sun in it. But look at this. It was 251 days from that day to the Astros making it to the World Series, right? And from Soler's birthday to him being the World Series MVP, slugging the ball out of the park on the 42nd pitch, which we smelled coming a mile away. That was 251 days. And again, baseball 54, sun 54, Jesuit order 54, 54 outs in a complete game like there was last night in the deciding game of the World Series. In back-to-back games, they got to shit on the home crowd. The Atlanta fans got really disappointed with the Game 5 performance. The Astros fans looked shell-shocked all game. The camera's zooming in on the faces of the fans who looked devastated. How are we going to get smoked like this on our home field right after it felt like we had the 9-5 Halloween momentum? Again, I guarantee you everyone who paid money to go to that game is not familiar with my work, and probably they're not familiar because of the major censorship. You guys, I think once upon a time the mainstream media thought that they could write articles and make fun of me and put me out of commission. But that plan backfired on them, and that's why they don't do this anymore. Again, this article's written about me November 20th, 2017. Wacko YouTuber approves World Series was rigged. And notice this was about the Astros as well. He wrote, what you are watching above is 8 minutes and 33 seconds of commentary that intends to prove that the World Series in all sports really was rigged. It involves Matt Harvey, Hurricane Harvey, Sports Illustrated, Gematria, an alphanumeric cipher that assigns a numeric value to words and phrases in Charlie Morton's pitch count. And the video comes courtesy of a guy named Zachary K. Hubbard, that's me, and he is convinced that everything is rigged. Which is not true. I don't say everything is rigged. I say the shit on the TV in the mainstream is rigged. News, politics, the weather, sports, everything. Again, not everything. The stuff that's presented to us. And for those of you guys who don't think the weather's rigged, look into August 15th, 1952, the Jesuit birthday, the Royal Air Force experiment that resulted in flash flooding, killing 30-some people. Funny that was on the Jesuit birthday. Getting down to the brass tacks, Hubbard posts that the Astros World Series victory was foretold by Matt Harvey's start in Houston, which just so happened to be the first start after the Houston area was devastated by Hurricane Harvey. That start, coincidentally, was 52 days before the start of the World Series. And hold on to your butts, because we've only just scratched the surface. And then he quotes me. The reason that matters is because the word flood in Gematria equates to 52. Houston flooded on a date with 52 numerology on August 27th, which was the 239th day of the year, which is the 52nd prime number. It was 27 years to the day of the death of Stevie Ray Vaughan, who is remembered for the album Texas Flood. Think about it. MLB's 27, Rituals 27, like I wrote about before yesterday's game, from Milwaukee winning the championship to Atlanta about to win the championship was 103 days later, the 27th prime, and Rituals 27 and MLB's 27. And by the way, Jorge Soler's full name, the small way, is also 103, like we showed last night. Again, these are all rituals, and they combine news, sports, and yes, the weather. The word hurricane also equals 52. This year, the Lightning won their 52nd game of the season, winning the shortened NHL season, winning the Stanley Cup on the day the hurricane passed through Tampa. The 52nd. And realize, you guys, I'll just tell you, Hurricane is 52 forwards, it's 56 in reverse. When the Astros won this World Series, it was their 56th season. Natural disasters also 56. And are we not talking about the same numbers? You know what? Here, just to show you how fucked up it is, 52 and 56 again. Right now I'm showing you how the weather warfare this year in Houston is synced up with Jorge Soler knocking Houston out of the World Series. Look at Jorge Soler, 52-56. Hank Aaron, his birth name Henry Aaron, is 52 and 56. And what day is his birthday? February 5th. A date can be written 5-2. These are special numbers here. These are numbers that relate directly to who runs the show. The Jesuits who serve the Pope. Pope is 52-56. We're on a calendar named after the Pope in a 52-week year. You know what I mean? Last night, 7-0 was the score. Atlanta wins again. And Vatican 70. France is 70, the first Jesuit pope. The Jesuits created in Paris, France, which is 70. They do it over the Astros, 70. Again, these things aren't an accident, you guys. This is who has done this. This is who's made it this way. This is why these rituals are so perfect. And weather warfare, something that's been admitted to for next year, will be the 70-year anniversary. Go figure. And understand the symbolism of what they did to Houston. Houston is the oil refining capital of the world right now. And we predicted that there'd be a Valentine's blackout synced up with the Jesuit Klaus Schwab, who runs the World Economic Forum, who said we need to get off fossil fuels and get on renewable energy. So what did they do on Valentine's Day, synced up with his birthday? In a huge Jesuit ritual that was predicted with his words, the darkest winter and the Great Reset, they black out Houston, they make people freeze, and then they send J.J. Watt to Solar Land. And then Soler rolls into town and freezes them again. You know? Did you see those petrified faces last night in the stands? Again, I mean, that's why, you guys, people can't get their mind around the fact that the world is ruled by evil people. The kind of people that'll blow up buildings in New York, blame it on innocent people overseas, and then bomb the fuck out of them for 20 years, even with robotic, heartless drones, who are being controlled by 18, 19, and 20-year-old kids who grew up on Call of Duty and thinking it was their duty to kill Muslim people because of 9/11. This is the world we're living in, you know? But yeah, this article was written making fun of me about weather warfare in sports, and not to mention my call was dead on. Right after that happened, I said why the Astros would beat the Dodgers, why the fires set in LA, the La Tuna fires at the same time were not an accident, how water puts out fire, how this is all occult shit. You know, you got the 4 elements to the occult: water, fire, earth, air, you know. Here, with regards to the Lightning, last year when the Lightning won their first Stanley Cup after Tom Brady came to town, notice that was right before Super Bowl 55, right? Lightning's 55 in the most pure. But what we said is why the Lightning would win the Stanley Cup on the day they did, because it was 44 days. You see how Lightning's 44 in reverse? The day the Lightning won the Stanley Cup last year, 2020, was 44 days after August 15th, again of all days. Weather warfare admitted to on August 15th, 52. Flood, earth, hurricane 52. But August 15, 2020 was the day that Tom Brady's hometown and the Bay Area burned up in unprecedented fires. And then 44 days later, the Lightning won the Stanley Cup. Lightning is what burned up the Bay Area on August 15, 2020. Isn't it funny how it all just keeps coming back in the same patterns, the same dates, and people keep thinking that what I'm saying is bullshit? And for all of you who think it's impossible, it's only because you're ignorant. This shit has been admitted to for a long time. And you know what? Now that I think about it, that next year, 22, after the Braves just won the World Series, will be the 70-year anniversary of weather warfare being admitted to. Hold on to your butts. You know, the World Series just decided 7-0 by Soler. Now, something else we've been doing. You know, showing how rigged crypto is by the Jesuit order. We predicted why on Valentine's Day, not only would there be blackouts, we predicted Bitcoin's price pretty much dead on the money. And we did that well before it happened. We showed why Valentine's Day there'd be this specific price for Bitcoin, which was synced up with the supposed founder of Bitcoin, Nakamoto. Here, just look at this. Nakamoto's birthday, if you look it up, is April 5th. And I'm spelling his name right. Nakamoto. There it is. Nakamoto is 45. You see that? Look at Bitcoin. 45, right? Look in that same cipher. Rituals 45. From his 45th birthday to Valentine's Day this year, 2021, from his 4-5 birthday at age 45 to Valentine's Day on the 45th day of the year was exactly 45 weeks. And I said, January 1st, I said, watch. Bitcoin will be worth at least $45,000, potentially $50,000 on Valentine's Day, which was a big increase from where it was when I said that. And it ended up being worth $48,000 and something on Valentine's Day. And if you look into Bitcoin, it's very Catholic. It's like chief architect, engineer, Catholic. People say, oh, Bitcoin's run by China. China's controlled by the Jesuits. That's why China equals Catholic like Europe. They rule the fucking world, morons. But again, a dead-on prediction, and then since then we've looked at all these other big Bitcoin. It's just clearly all Jesuit ritual. You've been doing it all year, you know? Now look at this. Look at this. As Soler helps the Astros go down, well, as Soler helps the Braves beat the Astros 7-0, what happens to this new crypto called Solana, which happened to launch right as baseball season was getting underway last year, as Dusty Baker was making his return after retirement? Again, Hank Aaron's old teammate. And it's just so obvious why they brought back Dusty Baker. Just perfect ritual. Gets his 44th postseason loss, losing to the Braves. Hank Aaron, number 44, dead on the 44 date numerology. Georgia and Wisconsin, 44. As the Bucks become 4-4 with 117 points. But look at this. Solana hits 70 billion. Solana. Solar. Their trading acronym is SOL. S-O-L, which is the sun, right, in Spanish. The Jesuits, their logo, the sun. The Catholic Church worshiping on Sunday. But 70 billion as the Braves on the bat of Soler go 7-0 in the deciding game, right? And again, Vatican 70, Francis 70, the first Jesuit Pope, the Jesuits from Paris, France 70. All year 56, 70 rituals. Soler born on the 56th day of the year. But look at this. The name of the stock, or this company, Solana, in Gematria equals 37 like Atlanta Braves. 37 is the 12th prime number. Remember how I told you American Pharoah would be the 12th Triple Crown winner all time before any races were won? 37 years after the last Triple Crown winner, plus all the other times I taught you about 37 and 12. Just the other week, the Patriots get their 37th home win over the Jets, winning their 12th straight game against the Jets. They beat them 54-0, or it wasn't 54-0, it was like 54-10 or something. Jets is 54 forwards and backwards. Anyway, Soler wears the number 12, you guys. Soler, Solana, Atlanta Braves. I mean, come on, man. All of this stuff is so controlled. And then I noticed it launched April 2019, right when baseball was getting underway, as Dusty Baker came back. And the founder, he's Russian, just like the Jesuits were saved in Russia. But Anatoly Yakovenko, 63, like Major League Baseball, also like Major League. A lot of Major League rituals with 63 over the years, including how we called at the... I said at the All-Star break, you guys, weeks before it happened, I said, watch, the Yankees will have 63 wins by the end of the Field of Dreams game, exactly what they had. In the most pure cipher, Field of Dreams, 63, and Major League Baseball, 63. Go back and watch. All-Star game, said watch. The Yankees, who've now been subbed into the Field of Dreams game, will have 63 wins by the conclusion of that game, exactly what they ended up having. This guy's name, the founder, 63 in that same cipher. And look how synced up it is with baseball. And a recent revelation I had about baseball in the 162-game season is, look at this, sun worship in Gematria. Think about how baseball starts in the spring when the sun returns. It goes through all of the summer, the hottest part of the year. And then as the sun, as it recedes, as the days become a lot shorter, the baseball season ends. And then it comes back again when the sun is back in the spring. But notice in Gematria, sun worship, 162. How many games are in a Major League Baseball season? 162. Sun worship, 54 forwards and backwards. How many outs in a game? 54. What did we just say about Soler? It was his 251st day of his age, the 54th prime. Houston goes to the World Series 251 days from the blackout when it was so cold the sun was hiding. But again, the word sun alone is 54 like baseball. Sun worship 162, 54. We got those covered. How about 108? Major League equals 108. 108 double stitches on a baseball. 108 relates to the sun, earth, and moon. Again, the diameter of the sun is the diameter of 108 earths. From the earth to the sun, they say, is the diameter of 108 suns. And from the earth to the moon is the diameter of 108 moons. And they say it's that ratio that allows for perfect eclipses to happen, as we witness on earth. The word geometry is also 108. The word mathematics is 112. In the 112th World Series, the Cubs broke the 108-year drought, with the tallest building in town being the 108-story, Chicago Tower. But look at Major League Baseball, when written out, is 162, right? Like the games in a season. Major League Baseball is also 117, and did they have a ritual of rituals for the 117th World Series? But baseball alone, when you run the alphabetic order in reverse, 162, also 54, 54, also 18. Again, Soler, his name equaled 283, the 61st prime. 61's the 18th prime. Baseball's 18. IHS and the Jesuit logo's 18. And sun is 18. Sun worship, rituals in accordance with time, synced up with the calendar, that are coded out in this language, that pays tribute to all this old occult knowledge. Again, that's the timeline, you guys. This stuff is old. The Catholic Church figured out how to take all this knowledge that they acquired in the Crusades, put it into the language English, which they're credited to, sync it up with the calendar, did it all in the 16th century when the Jesuits were recognized by Rome, and we've been living this way ever since. That's why all of sports history is this way. Anybody who says that this is bullshit is just too dumb, too ignorant, too closed-minded to go prove it to themselves that it's not. You can do all of sports history. Every single fucking year of these rigged sports has been this way. All of them, from the beginning, period, end of discussion. You can prove it all day, as I've been proving, as I've written monster books about. And here, speaking of which, let me go to page 63. And again, the big thing we talked about in this video was Soler. 95 in his 251st day of his age, right? 95, 251st day of his age. Let me read page 63 of my book, and let's see how we talked about baseball last year. Again, I finished writing this book last year at the beginning of August 2020. It's been out for more than a year now. On the subject, it's funny, I'm actually talking about the year 1995 right before I start this paragraph. Again, that's the year the Braves won the World Series. I'm talking about how the military World Games began in Wuhan, China in 95. Because again, Event 201, the coronavirus outbreak simulation. Remember, Hank Aaron got his COVID vaccine and then he died right after. But Event 201, 201 people in the test group in Tuskegee. Last night, again, the 201st game by the Braves in the playoffs in a big 95 ritual. But in the paragraph before this, I'm talking about Event 201 on the same day the military World Games began in Wuhan, China, which are military World Games that started in Rome in 95 and are credited to the Jesuit order. Look it up. But then the next paragraph. On the subject of the number 95, a number we have learned is highly symbolic to the Jesuit order. That's because they were created to counter the 95 Theses pinned by Martin Luther, like Martin Luther King Jr. assassinated on the 95th day of 68. Number 68 was on the mound a lot last night. So was number 93. Martin Luther King Jr. 93, Malcolm X 93. Go back and look at all the numbers that were on the mound last night. A lot of 54 as well, wasn't there? Number 54 started for the Braves last night. Anyway, on the subject of the number 95, a number we have learned is highly symbolic to the Jesuit order, and Anthony Fauci, the Jesuit, the man having a surname equating to 95, and being born on Christmas Eve 1940, a date with 95 numerology, I want to conclude this chapter with a powerful example of how rituals are performed in accordance with the calendar and Gematria, and I want you to appreciate how special the ritual was of Anthony Fauci's wild first pitch to open the shortened MLB season due to coronavirus on July 23, 2020, when the defending MLB champions, the Washington Nationals, lost to Anthony Fauci's hometown New York Yankees in that same game. The man considered to be the best pitcher in baseball who lost to the Nationals in the World Series a season earlier, Garrett Cole, when he made his debut with the Yankees, earning his 95th career win in the regular season. Not only that, he had signed with the Yankees on December 11, 2019, his 95th day of his age, having been born September 8, 1990, what is considered the Virgin Mary's birthday. With regards to his date of birth, it is the 251st day of the year. And again, Soler last night, from his birthday, February 25th, his 251st day of his age, right? With regards to his date of birth, it is the 251st day of the year, which is the 54th prime number. And in addition to baseball equating to 54, a game of 54 outs, so does Jesuit order. Furthermore, July 23, 2020 was the day that is celebrated as the heliacal rising of Sirius, the dog star. Fittingly, the word Sirius has simple English Gematria 95, and heliacal rising equates to 251 with reverse simple English, corresponding with Cole's birthday. Beyond that, and adding to our ongoing list of 56, remember Jorge Soler, 56, born on the 56th day of the year. Last year in the World Series, weren't they giving you a lot of 56 on the Tampa Bay Rays? They sure were. Beyond that, and adding to our ongoing list of 56, opening day and first pitch equate to 56 with Pythagorean, the same as Anthony Fauci, Washington, D.C., and Society of Jesus. And, of course, coronavirus and COVID vaccine 56. CDC down in Atlanta, right? Yesterday, on the day that Atlanta wins the World Series, they approved the vaccine for little kids who grow up playing baseball, ages 5 through 11. What is 5 plus 6 plus 7 plus 8 plus 9 plus 10 plus 11? Oh, it's 56. It just goes on and on and on, man. But what do you think? You think we got another ritual that ties it all together? Again, this book's about how the Jesuits run the world. How they mock our asses every day. How these fuckers control the news, the sports, the politics, the weather. These people control the fucking weather. I don't know if they control it every damn day, but here's a great example of sports and weather. Look up the only Super Bowl where it rained. The only Super Bowl ever where it rained at halftime. Maybe not the only Super Bowl where it ever rained, but the only time it ever rained at the halftime show was Super Bowl 41. If I'm not mistaken, it was on February 4th, 4-2. Rain is 42. But it was Super Bowl 41 where Prince performed Purple Rain. The only Super Bowl where it rained at halftime was Prince's performance of Purple Rain. And just think about that. All the military flyovers, the Jesuits consider themselves a military order. August 15th, their birthday, the day of weather warfare being admitted to in the UK. Jesuits have been in the UK. Catholic Church has owned UK for centuries. You know, they've owned this nation from the beginning too. That's the big lie about America. We never got free as shit. Maybe we tried to get free. Maybe some of the founders knew what's up. They're like, you fuckers need to be armed because there's some serious fucking Jesuit scum out there. And you guys need to be strapped. And we do, man. And you know, we need to all gather with our pitchforks and do away with these people. And they deserve it, you guys. They are murderers. They are killers. They are liars. They are thieves. And they're, you know, every day they're doing shit like this. Murdering people, you know, just creating fucked up narratives for rituals. Henry Ruggs III, what kind of story is that? You know? It's so obvious why he was chosen. The 22-year-old on the perfect day of his age, tied in here with, you know, the Houston numbers being drafted in round 1, pick 12 of that round, 1-1-2, World Series, his accident, 11-2. And by the way, like, haters of the past, you guys, like, a bunch of people made fun of, like, Gary the Numbers Goon, who has the 33 tattooed on his arm, who gets to go on ESPN and shit sometimes. He was trying to talk shit. He put up when the 112th World Series ended and the Cubs broke the 108-year drought, as I guaranteed they would in spring training of that year. I said they will break this 108-year drought. Big baseball number. But again, I did have the Cubs, and they won the 112th World Series on November 2nd, 11/2. But I was explaining from the beginning of the year, mathematics 112 and geometry 108. And it's all about this. Gematria means geometry and language. Comes from Kabbalah. But he was trying to talk shit. What's funny about Gary the Numbers Goon is he picked like 5 different teams during the year who were going to win the World Series because his regular season teams didn't work out. And then once the playoffs started, he had the wrong playoff teams. And then when the World Series came around, and understand, Gary the Numbers guy teaches the same thing I do, but he makes you sign an NDA and charges you thousands of dollars for the knowledge. Thousands of dollars for the knowledge. I put it out for free for 5 years. And he just totally struck out on the World Series. I mean, he literally had like 5 picks that failed. And mine was dead on. You know, I said the Cubs would win the World Series from spring training. Guaranteed it. And when the World Series was set, he took the Indians to beat the Cubs. I think he was just trying to prove that he was better than me and you know, maintain some kind of like superior thing. And he's not. He's a fucking fraud. He's only been right about one future pick in the 8 year I've been here, and it was the one where he was right too. He said LeBron would win it for the Cavs on the real King James's birthday. That was an easy call. He lives down there in Cleveland, 33 land with his 33 on his arm. But what was funny is he launched a website called Gematria Fraud with my face on it after I was right and after he struck out 5 times. And again, he's a you-know-who, a circumcised type. But it just shows you what a sorry-ass motherfucker he is. He was wrong, I was right, and then he launches a website to attack me. But part of what he was making fun of is he said, well, Zach wasn't all right because he said in spring training the Cubs would beat Houston. And why did I have Houston? Because it was the 112th World Series, and I knew they do a ton of 112 shit with Houston. And who knows, man? Maybe it was supposed to be Houston. You know what I mean? Because am I not proven right? I've been proven right a million times about Houston and 112 because there's been so many rituals with Houston and 112. But here's the latest. On November 2nd, they go home as the loser. And again, you guys, it's all mathematics, man. Mathematics in that same cipher is 112. What's 1 plus 1 equals 2, right? Mathematics. 1 plus 1 equals 2, where it all starts. And who runs the show? The Catholic Church. Catholicism's 112. So, and because I was on the trail with Houston getting hot and it was their time, Houston wasn't bad that year. They narrowly missed the playoffs. They were in the World Series the next year. And next year we were dead on. Houston over LA. So, yeah, again, you guys, if you ever hear anyone leave a comment that I'm a fraud or a scammer, just know that you're hearing the words of a fraud and scammer, someone who's trying to mislead you. All we've ever dished out is facts and helped a lot of people make a lot of money. So, and again, everything I've written about just proves itself over and over. Here, let me show you. This is my first book, big old thing. Chapter 18, How the Media Programs the Purposeful Race War. Let me just read a little bit of this chapter because it's mostly about 42 and 59. And again, last night, Braves win it 4-2, the series. On the day leaving 59 days left in the year, on the day Hank Aaron was released by the Braves in history, a man who played until he was 42 years old. And again, it was the 47-year anniversary of him being released in 74. Jackie Robinson, number 42, was called up in 47. That's why that license plate in the background says, what is 47? Henry Ruggs, 47. Nevada, 47. But here we go. How the Media Programs the Purposeful Race War. Chapter 18. And it wasn't an accident I made it Chapter 18. Race equals 18. Baseball equals 18. I do stuff like that with my books. It's pretty much the only time I do stuff by the numbers. And again, it's just for all the dummies who are like, man could never come up with these things. It's like, what are you talking about? Shit's easy to come up with once you know how to do it. Anyway, you're likely aware of the number 42 being associated with Jackie Robinson, said to be the first black baseball player in white Major League Baseball. If you saw the film put out about his story titled 42, it got criticism for using the word N-word too often. It is reminiscent of how in the O.J. Simpson trial it was reported under testimony that Mark Furman was heard using the word 42 times. And look that up, that's a fact. Supposedly Mark Furman in the O.J. Simpson trial said the N-word 42 times. That was testimony that was given in the trial of a century. And it's was 95 going on? Was that 95 with O.J. Simpson? In a single conversation, but ask yourself the question, who would ever keep such a count? Can you imagine someone tallying each use of the word and then going, my God, 42 times? I'm going to remember this. As we'll get to, the entire O.J. Simpson trial was a made-for-TV hoax. I can't read well this morning. I didn't sleep very much. Made-for-TV hoax by the numbers, meant to create racial animosity, as it did, and as was scripted by the long noses. With that said, let's get to what the number 42 is all about. Remember, long noses is a terminology from Pinocchio, a liar. N-word equals 42. It also, what's funny? I pointed out in there because I underlined the letters on the book. I pointed out how N breaks down to 5 because it's the 14th letter. 1 plus 4 is 5. And I is the 9th letter. So 5, 9 begins the N word, right? That adds up to 42. Jackie equals 42. Orenthal equals 42. That's O.J. Simpson's first name. Orenthal, James Simpson. Brothers equals 42. Boy equals 42. Bus equals 42. Slavery equals 42. History equals 42. Tuskegee 42. Remember Rosa Parks from Tuskegee. Born on 4/2 in February. February equals 42, Black History Month. Martin equals 42, Malcolm X 42, Huxtable 42, Cosby Show 42, Muhammad Ali 42, LeBron James 42. Then I go on. If you watch the sitcom Martin, he lived in apartment 42, and now you know why. Also, for historical accuracy, Jackie, who wore number 42, was not the first black baseball player in white Major League. If you look at MLB.com, that honor belongs to Moses Walker, who played in exactly 42 career games. His name, Gematria, also equates to 42. And on the subject of Jackie Robinson, I should mention that on January 31st, 2018, what would have been his 99th birthday, there were 3 celebrity deaths reported in the media, all of which were individuals being of African descent. Those individuals were Oscar Gamble, former MLB star who died 42 days after his own birthday, which was December 20th, 2017. Razul Butler, a former NBA star who died in a car accident, like Jackie's son. And think about it. It was a car accident, right? We got a car accident story. The day of the World Series, it was Mr. Riggs. Oh, by the way, Henry equals 34 like Nevada, and that happened at 340 local, they said. Black, again, 34. Murder, 34. Razul Butler, a former NBA star who died in a car accident like Jackie's son, and LaTanya Lemon, the sister of Don Lemon on CNN News, who's down in Atlanta, isn't he? Adding insult to injury, all 3 of these people had names summing to 42 in reduction gematria. That's the most pure cipher. And then the mass right there on the page. As you'll learn, this is just a short list of Black history-related items and the number 42. The number is also coded in more ways than just names, such as Rodney King, who was beaten by the LAPD March 3rd, 91, and was said to have been born April 2nd, 4/2, 1965. In the case of his name gematria, it equates to 59, the other number stamped on Black history and closely related to 42. Take a look again at the word Nigger and notice how the breakdown is 597759. Houston equals 77. Notice the game began with 77 on the mound. On the 42nd pitch, he gave up that big home run. Atlanta, Georgia, 59. Houston, 77. With the sequence of 59 twice within, we learned a bit about this number in the chapter on Wars by the Numbers and the Civil War ending May 9th, 1865 or 59. On the subject, let us decode the name gematria of Rodney King, who supposedly died of accidental drowning at the curious age of 47. Man, on the 47-year anniversary of Hank Aaron, it ends on the day leaving 59 days left in the year with a 4-2 series where the MVP jacked the ball out of the park on the 42nd pitch. Man. Just funny how this shit just goes over and over and over. Keep in mind the word time equals 47, and these people are doing circle and times. As we decode, think about how his name reminds of the great civil rights leader. And again, I'm talking about Martin Luther King Jr., who was assassinated on the 95th day of 68. Rodney King equals 59. I got the math on the page. Let us now decode the numbers 5 and 9, noticing how they both connect back to the number 42. 5 equals 42 at the most simple cipher, so does 9. As for LaTanya Lemon, who we just mentioned dying at age 42 on Jackie's birthday, the story was she tripped and drowned in a pond while fishing. It was supposedly icy and cold. Again, it's January. As unlikely as that story is, the gematria of the pond tells us what really happened. Pond equals 59, so does lemon. And then I got, I say, let us now revisit some of the 59 words that connect to the Black race through the English language, a language crafted by the false Jews who have stolen the identity of the real Jews, those of African descent who are, and if you guys don't know, they were originally going to put Israel in Africa, who are the Black people of the world. As we decode, let us not forget that the false Jews also opened Motown Records, the Black label, in 59, emphasis on 59. Remember just last year, you had the CEO of Motown just drop dead at age 59, then Little Richard died on May 9th, and Betty Wright, whose artist name equaled 59, died the day after. A lot of 59 there all at once. What are the odds that the CEO of Motown drops dead at 59? And then it was introduced by a DJ for Bad Boy Records, which equals 59. Last night I showed the clip of Bad Boy Records. So emotional music video with the bus at the beginning with the 42 on it. Puff Daddy 42. Open Motown Records, the Black label, in 59, emphasis on 59, and on the 42nd parallel north where Detroit is located. Didn't Milwaukee do the 4-4 thing last night against Detroit? I think they did. Let us also not forget that the first famous black golfer is a predominantly white sport who is now being shamed regularly in the media is named Tiger Woods. By the way, where he got busted with his text message, supposedly he was cheating in Hotel 201. Look it up. Hotel room number 201. The Bill Gates affair scandal information came out this last year on May 17th, 201 days after his birthday. William Henry Gates 201, like the Jesuit order. They do shaming rituals with all sorts of people. They don't just shame black people, but they definitely pick on black people more than anyone else. And don't forget, Tiger Woods equals 54 forwards and backwards like Jesuit order. It was the 54th day of the year. Supposedly he was in a car crash. That was this year. And I mentioned here that the word tiger is a substitute for the N-word in that nursery rhyme. You know, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, pick a tiger by his toe. The real version of that goes, eeny, meeny, miny, mo, pick a N by his toe. Tiger Woods. Tiger and Woods both equal 59. They both also equal 76. The Million Man March on the day, leaving 76 days left in the year. Remember, Negro, Slave, Blues, Rasta, they're all 59 forwards, 76 in reverse. Acts 7:6 is about the 400-year prophecy with slaves in a foreign land from the Bible. Acts is the 44th book of the Bible. In septenary gematria, African Americans 44, like Obama's number 44, like he put out the book A Promised Land, which equals 59 and 76 on the day, leaving 44 days left in the year, which relates to that prophecy from Acts. He did that 106 days after his birthday last year. Prophecy's 106. When you run it in reverse, black is 106. Again, you guys, they're following biblical prophecy. They're contriving it for their rituals. They're paying tribute to it everywhere. The Old Testament is about the Jews, who historically are black people. So I think that's part of the reason that they're always fucking with black people. Because they're contriving their prophecy, mocking us all the way. I have the list here. Negro, Slave, Blues, Rasta, all equal 59. So does the term jigaboo, cotton picker, Tiger, Woods, Huey. You know Huey P. Newton founded the Black Panther Party. Lewis, 59 as in Louis Farrakhan. Ali as in Muhammad Ali, whose name's also 42. Obamacare, 59. His Secret Service name, Renegade, 59. Eminem, 59. Think about it. Elvis Presley's at 59. They said Eminem and Elvis did black music. Elvis dead at 42. Jack Robinson, 59. Michael Jordan, 59. Black Mamba, 59. You should read my chapter in here on Michael Jordan and Kobe Bryant. All the numbers that are now of his death. Stokely Carmichael, 59. Dr. Ben Carson, 59. I had to throw him in there because I wrote this at the time of the election. Black History Month, 59 in Chaldean Gematria. Again, Black History Month ends on the 59th day of the year. And then I go on to talk about the 42 laws of Ma'at and what's really behind this 42 and 59 and a whole bunch more examples. But it's chapter 18 of Letters and Numbers. I made this book free to download on my Patreon page. I made both my ebooks free. You can read these whole books in ebook form on my for free on Patreon. This book, to get it in print form, you have to send the ebook to lulu.com, and they charge you like, well, the price might have gone up, but it used to be like $30 to get it printed. But realize it's a big book. That's why it costs so much to get printed. So, yeah, again, you guys, the reason that there's a 24/7 365. Oh, speaking of 365, hold on. I got to show you about Soler's name. Soler, the sun, 365. Check this out. Check out his full name. I think you guys know where I'm going with this after I just said 365. Look at his full name. Jorge Carlos Soler Castillo. 365. Isn't that amazing? Like the sun, 365 days a year. Except for on February 14th in Houston. So, but yeah, man. News, sports, weather, crypto. It's all synced up, you know? It's all synced up. What's that music video where Puff Daddy the Bean is going, it's all fucked up now. It's all fucked up. You know? Should have had that with the bus in the background with the 42 going by. Would have fit together perfectly. Yeah, if you got here late, rewind, watch it all. Try to wake up your friends and family. It's just, It's just so wicked how they do it, man. And again, just to remind you, that surname Soler, which isn't even really his last name. You see how it's 69 in the most simple cipher, just like Atlanta? Again, last night, Astros picked up that 69th all-time postseason loss. And they picked up their 15th loss in the World Series all-time. And notice World Series even has the 69, right? Soler's the World Series MVP. Atlanta was wearing those 150 patches on their sleeve. Astros threw 150 pitches last night. So, all right, you guys. Darrell, if you're out there, I hope you're happy. And yeah, I think I'm going to leave it there for now. I need a nap, really. I need a nap. Oh, here, I got to show you guys one more fucked up thing while I'm here. We've been talking about this one for a while, and it's happened. It has happened. I got up at 4:30 this morning. I didn't sleep for very long, and then I woke up at 4:30 and couldn't sleep. But the headline was out then. If you missed my video yesterday on the ritual with the vaccine approval on 11/2 down in Atlanta, who won the World Series on the same day, again, a meeting from 11 to 5 to approve the vaccine for 11 to 5-year-olds, and they're saying most people should have it by the end of the week to be able to get vaccinated on 11/5, the day leaving 56 days left in the year. Remember the 5th of November. But we've been saying that they've been saying for weeks that it's probably going to be available on November 3rd. For children, and that's what the CDC director came out early this morning and said. On the East Coast, it's probably 7:30 in the morning on the East Coast. I'm on the West Coast. But Dr. Rochelle Walensky, if you missed my video on how this is all synced up with her yesterday, you better check it out. It shows that she's definitely owned by Pfizer. Our government is fascist. That's why the Roman fasces are on the wall of the House of Representatives. Fascism is government and corporation working together. Pfizer's vaccine approvals all across the world, they figured out how to do a 2-1-2 ritual now 1,000,000 times. Yesterday, the Pfizer vaccine was approved for children on her 212th day of her age. Coronavirus vaccines, 2-1-2. There's a lot more. Coronavirus vaccines also 1-1-2 on 1-1-2 on her 212th day of her age. But today she comes out the day after on November 3rd, and she says that your child can now get the vaccine in a lot of places today. It's already available. You guys, it's 1-1-3, right? It's 1-1-3. Remember, the pandemic was declared on March 11th, another 1-1-3 date. Coronavirus pandemic is 1-1-3, and that's the 30th prime number, and vaccine is 30. And remember, Clade X was the pandemic simulation, May 15, 2018, exactly 666 days before the pandemic was declared. Notice how Clade X is 1-1-3, like how it was declared on 1-1-3, the pandemic, 666 days later. But in that, you can still watch the Clade X simulation. Watch it. Go online and watch the highlights from it. They rush out vaccines that hurt people. And in light of the CDC being down there in Atlanta and the ritual being all about 42 and them saying that black people need the vaccine more than anybody else, I just want you to realize vaccine 42, big 42 ritual. Hank Aaron got the vaccine, died days later, quit baseball at 42, big 42 ritual last night. Tuskegee, 201 people in the control group. Rosa Parks from Tuskegee, born 4/2, dead on a 59-date numerology. Not only that, not only is Rosa Parks dead on a 59-date numerology, she died on the anniversary of Jackie Robinson dying, October 24th. And again, Snoop Dogg's mom just died on that day, born on the 117th day of the year, right after the World Series is set for the 117th World Series. But Tuskegee, slavery, Jackie, Jesuit, you know what I mean? See how it all comes together, you guys? It's all one big Jesuit ritual. And anyone who tries to tell you that man can't do this is someone with a low IQ that thinks, in what's known as a Goyim mind by the ruling class. Again, that's why the ruling class has this definition of Goyim, because Goyim are too stupid to be considered human, and they're just not that capable. And you listen to a lot of Goyim call into my show and spout off their idiot nonsense while evil rules over them each day. Like I asked that moron last night. If the devil's doing all this and man couldn't be coding any of this, then are you telling me that Satan put the number 42 on Martin's door in the sitcom when Martin's 42? And the moron wouldn't answer that question. But again, you guys, I do believe that there is, again, watch the live stream I did yesterday talking about, like the Devin Booker ritual again. There is some kind of spiritual wickedness going on, but it's man that's doing this, and it's man that can be held accountable. certain people used to believe that Jews had real magic, and that's why they didn't want to be around Jews, because they thought their wicked magic could be used to hurt them. They even made a movie about this on Netflix called The Golem. And remember, Jewish mysticism is mostly based in Kabbalah. Jewish mysticism equals 201 like the Jesuit order. And again, the NBA Finals had that wicked ritual with Devin Booker getting his face busted while the owner's wife was sitting courtside with a picture of Steve Nash on her t-shirt with a bloody nose. And that happened with 3:22 on the clock, like Kabbalah, 3 pillars, 22 paths, where all this stuff comes from. J.J. Watt, Alex Smith ritual, huge 322 ritual. Houston blacked out 322 days after Klaus Schwab's birthday. And J.J. Watt, born on 3/22, March 22nd, wanted out of town. But, again, I mean, even if the magic, there's a real element to it, it's still people that are doing this. And they can be stopped. The way to defeat magic is to understand it. So, and understand spells and spelling. They wouldn't do this shit religiously if they didn't think they had a spell over humanity. And they do, because humanity is blind to the obvious truth. Somehow their wicked ways are working. You know. They can tell these brain-dead masses all year that COVID's not a threat to children, and then all of a sudden there's a vaccine ready for children, and then the media can start reporting that all of a sudden there's outbreaks in populations of children, and you better get the vaccines that just became available, and people won't even question it. Wow, what a coincidence. Let me go get vaccinated. While they probably stream the TV show on Amazon and Netflix about, if you guys aren't aware, Netflix released Between, where it's Medical Building 201 that they keep showing over and over, about a virus being unleashed on a town for an experiment. Netflix puts that out in the time of the pandemic, and then Amazon remakes Utopia, about billionaires with a plan to sterilize the world with a vaccine to depopulate. And keep in mind, you guys, Georgia is where the Georgia Guidestones are. Look up the Georgia Guidestones. Put there on March 22nd, 322. 10 new rules for a new world. The first rule is to limit the Earth's population to 500 million. You guys, if there's really 7 billion people on Earth, that means 13 out of 14 got to go. And you know what? I almost want to find who made that Georgia Guidestone and ask him why we can't escalate the process. I think it would be a good thing if 13 out of 14 people got wiped off the face of this earth, because most of them are sorry-ass sacks of shit. And I don't care if anyone thinks otherwise. The reason you don't think otherwise is because you haven't been in my shoes the last 20 years trying to wake people up to evil and tyranny and gotten nothing but grief and shit from these sorry-ass motherfuckers. You know? I know how sorry humanity is. Same fucking losers going to these rigged sports games that murder their athletes year after year while these blind dummies just turn a blind eye to it. You know? Getting fleeced. Go back and watch the tape of last night's game and all the shots throughout the game of all the fans in Houston with their shell-shocked faces. While they show people in Atlanta outside in a parking lot celebrating. They're watching the game for free. The people who just gave all their money, you know, just to get ransacked. Jesuit tactics. Manipulating the Goyim masses, as they call them. So, better wake up, you guys. Till next time.